As requested in this video, I'm going to show you the recording or streaming setup if you would like to connect your Focusrite audio interface to your Android device like Samsung or iOS device like iPhone, wherein the background music as well as the vocal effects are coming from the laptop. Without further ado, let's get started. And now let me show you the things, the cables I will be needing in this setup. First of all, this is the Focusrite 2Y2 3rd Gen, and this is the laptop I will be opening a DAW, which is Ableton Live, and as well as the background music. As I mentioned earlier, the vocal effects as well as the background music will be coming from this laptop. And this is just a Beam 800 condenser microphone. And this two phones here, this is an Android device, this is iOS. So this is the Samsung S20 Ultra if you're curious. And this is just the iPhone 8 Plus. And this cable's here, so this is just XLR male to female to connect this condenser microphone or Beam 800 condenser microphone. I will be needing this one. So this is just TS dual mono to 3.5 jack. And this one here, so I have two of them. This is splitter to microphone and headphone, as well as this one. So this is also microphone and headphone. So the only difference is the other end. So this one is a 3.5 TRRS, the one that has 3 lines, and then this other one is USB-C. And this one, USB-A to C, this normally comes when you get a Focusrite. And this one here, this is an audio adapter, 6.35 millimeter jack to 3.5 millimeter female adapter. And this is just to monitor the audio. This is an earphone, and this is why I needed this one to connect to that. And to connect to here. If you have a headphone that has this end 6.35, then you don't need an adapter. You can connect it to here directly. And this lightning adapter I will be needing because this iPhone here does not have a headphone jack on it, so I will need this one. Okay, and now let's start the connections. First, I'm going to connect this Beam 800 condenser microphone. So first, this one end is supposed to go here. And then the other end, of course, will connect to this microphone. Okay, there you go. And now let's connect this Focusrite to this laptop. So as I mentioned, normally you will get this if you get this Focusrite audio interface. So USB-C goes to here, and then the other end, wherever is the USB port of your laptop, and then that's where the other end is gonna go. So this one is just over on this side. Okay, and now let's connect this adapter. So I'm going to connect it to here for headphone, and then I'm going to connect this earphone to monitor the audio. I suggest use the one that has 2 lines. That means without a built-in microphone on it. So I will connect it to here. There you go. First, I'm going to do a test on this iPhone on here. So for that, I am going to connect this TS dual mono to 3.5 millimeter TRS. So from here, let's connect this 2 ends to the back. So there are only 2 ports on here. So that one and this one. And this other end, let's connect to this one here. So TRRS, the one that has 3 lines. And this other end, we will connect to the one for microphone. And now this other end, we will connect to this lightning adapter. Make sure you're using the right one, because if it's not the right one, you will only hear, but it will not record, or you will not be able to do streaming. As much as possible, get the one from Apple Store. Okay, and from here, let's connect this end to here. Okay, now that we're all set, let's do a sample recording first on this iPhone. And as to my settings over here, so I'm just going to be setting my microphone to about maybe 10 o'clock. And it's up to you if you want to turn on your air. In my opinion, it's good to just turn it on. And it's up to you also if you want to turn on the monitoring. In my case, I would like to turn it on so I can hear my vocals or my voice. And 48 volt phantom power, I turned it on because this is a condenser microphone, so I have to turn it on. Otherwise, this phone here will not work. And this volume knob over here, this is the audio output of your recorded video. If this is at 0, then you're only recording a video without audio. So this one has to be at least up over here. And I'm just going to be setting my monitor to about 1 o'clock, and pretty much that's it. And over here, so as you notice, I already selected a background music, this one here. And from here, I already opened the Ableton Live. And this one here, this iPhone, I only opened the built-in camera of this phone, and I set it, of course, to video. And pretty much I'm all set, ready to go. And just to take note, once you open the Ableton Live, you have to go to Options, and then you have to go to Preference at the bottom, and make sure your driver type is ASIO, and then your audio device is set to Focusrite USB ASIO. And pretty much you're all set in there, and we'll exit from there. Okay, and from here, what I did is I just set this one to landscape mode. So it's up to you if you are all good with this mode or this mode. So in my case, I'm just going to be using this. I think this is kind of landscape mode. This is kind of default one. I'm not going to be recording a MIDI, so I will delete that. So this too, and I'm only maybe keeping the audio 1 and audio 2. Okay, so let's say we will be using the audio number 1. So make sure to arm it. So this one here, there is a dot at the corner there. So let's tap that one to make sure it's on red. So from over here, you will see auto. So tap that and make sure so this one here, there should be a number there. And please remember, since we connected the microphone to mic number 1, this one has to be set to number 1. If the microphone is connected to mic number 2, then you will not be able to hear anything, and there shouldn't be a green color on here. So that means it's picking up already my voice. So make sure it's set to number 1. Okay, so first let's do a manual, maybe a manual effects from this Ableton Live. So this is pretty much where we will be getting the vocal effects from Ableton Live. We will not be recording from here. We will be recording from this iPhone over here, but we will only be using the vocal effects from this DAW, which is the Ableton Live. From here, I'll be starting recording now from this iPhone, so that once I edit this video, I'll be syncing or combining the audio output from this phone so that I can share to you also whatever I am hearing from this earphone. And I'm going to start recording from here. Okay, there you go. And whatever you're hearing right now, that is now the audio output or recorded audio output from this iPhone over here. So right now, as you notice, there is no effects yet. That is because I did not add any effects from this Ableton Live. Now, manually, if you want to do it, so you should be able to see INF on this number 1 audio. Okay, so if this is your first time to open an Ableton Live DAW, the number 1 audio, the first INF that you will see, that is your reverb, and then the second one is your echo. So the first one, if you tap that and you tap arrow up, you should be able to hear the vocal effects. There you go, sound check. Testing 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Maybe let's set it to -11. And then the next INF, so let's again tap the arrow up. So you can just tap arrow up or down to adjust it, whatever is your preferred vocals. Okay, that's too much. Maybe let's lower it. That's the echo. Okay, maybe let's set this one to, let's say 30, -30. So what I did is I selected the first INF -10, and then the second one for the echo to the right, I set it to -30. Okay, let's say this is the vocal effects that you selected. Now let's test the background music over there. And to control your background music, you can control it within this YouTube. So by the way, this is a YouTube karaoke song. So if I'm going to play this one, there you go. And if I am going to lower it, I could use the volume control of this laptop. There you go. Or increase that. Or I can also I can also use this volume control within the YouTube. So let's play it again. And then the one over here, so right there. And then I'm going to lower it or increase that. There you go. Okay, that's pretty much how to adjust your volume of your background music. So again, whatever you're hearing right now, that is now the audio output recorded from this iPhone. Okay, let me give you a short sample. Let's say you are making a song cover. Okay, let's start from here. Okay, so let's play this one now over here. Wish I could be the one who could give you love, the kind of love you really need. Wish I could say to you. Okay, there you go. Then that should be your audio output. Now, if you want more effects, of course you can do that. Okay, let's add more reverb. So again, tap arrow up from your laptop. Okay, I'm setting it this time to -6. And the echo, maybe let's add a little bit more. Okay, I'm setting it to 25 this time. So again, the reverb -6, and then the echo is -25. Okay, let's do another sample. Give the heart and soul to you, promise you forever, but baby, that's something I can do. Okay, there you go. So anyway, that should be your audio output if you will be setting your reverb to -6 and then your echo to -25. Okay, let me set this back to 0. Okay, there you go. So I just set both back to 0. Now what I will do is, if you, for example, do not want to set it, let's say you want a preset reverb or echo on it. So what I can suggest is go to audio effects. So let me maximize this one again. From here, you should be able to see this, audio effects, and then select the reverb, and it's up to you if you want to use the hall, or there should be options here, room or special. In my opinion, for singing purposes, I think it's best to select the hall. And from here, there are options still. Let's say we will use the concert. So from here, I'm going to use audio number 2. Now, if you want to use, let's say, a different track, make sure to arm this one and hit auto over here. So I'm going to tap auto first on this one here, and I'll make sure I selected number 1, otherwise I will not hear this one. So it's number 1 selected over here, and it's auto, and I'm going to arm it. Okay, there you go. So I can again hear myself. I'm using this time audio or track number 2, the one that says 2 audio. As you notice over here, both of them, the reverb and the echo, are set to 0. Now, if I'm going to select one of the presets or reverb presets over here, you will notice your voice will have effects right away, even if it's 0 over here, both the reverb and echo. Okay, if I'm going to select, let's say, concert hall, just double tap. There you go. It has now effects. Now, if you want to lower it, so you will see dry wet at the bottom. So you can adjust that. If you think the reverb or echo is too much, then feel free to adjust it from here to dry wet. Okay, so let's adjust this one to maybe 50, let's see. Okay, let's say 49%. So that should be your audio output. And again, as you notice, your INF here on this side are set to 0, and yet your vocals has effects, and that is because we selected a reverb preset from this options over here. So it's an audio effects. Okay, let me do another short sample. I know it only hurts you. I know it only make you cry. I'm not the one you needed. I love you. Okay, there you go. So anyway, that should be your audio output if you will be selecting the concert hall. And as I showed you, I just set my dry wet to 49%, so I did not touch anything. That is your audio output. But again, there are more controls or changes here that you could do if you're a pro on this one. So in my case, I'm not really a pro on this one, so I'm just showing you the basic. So you should be able to use or connect your Focusrite using this DAW and to record to this iPhone over there. Okay, so this time maybe I'm going to set first the reverb here to 0, so there is no effects. There you go. Okay, so this time what I will do is I am going to do maybe a live streaming on this iPhone. Let's see if the audio output is the same. And there you go. As you notice, I am now all ready to go live on here. So this is a Facebook live streaming platform. And on this Focusrite, I will not be touching any settings over here. So same as earlier. And on this Ableton Live DAW, I'm still at concert as the preset reverb I will be using. And again, there's no effects because on here, the dry wet, I set it to 0%. Okay, so I'm going to start recording now from here. And by the way, what I'll be doing is I'll be syncing or combining the audio output from this live streaming over here to this other video that I am taking right now so that you can hear the actual audio output from this live streaming on Facebook. Okay, so I'm going to go live now from here. Okay, there you go. So I am now currently live on Facebook. As I mentioned earlier, the vocals is still flat without any effects or reverberation. That is because I set my dry wet to 0 from this Ableton Live DAW. And I'm still using the concert hall as my preset reverb. We'll use this time another preset reverb. Let's delete first the concert hall and let's select medium hall. There you go. So that should be your audio output if you will select medium hall. And again, if you think the reverb and echo is too much, then dry wet over here, just adjust that. Okay, so let's see. We're going to adjust it maybe to let's see, 60%. There you go. Okay, and from here, let's do again another short sample. And by the way, to adjust the volume of your background music is same that I showed you earlier. You can either control it from here, wherever is the volume control of your laptop, or within the YouTube volume control, this one right there. Okay, let me now do a short sample singing. Let's say you're singing to your audience or viewers on Facebook live streaming. That's not me. You need someone willing to give the heart and soul to you. Promise you forever, but baby, that's something I can do. Okay, there you go. This time, let's remove first this medium hall. Just tap and delete. And now it goes back to flat without any reverberation or echo. So let's maybe select church. Okay, there you go. So this is now the church effects if you want to use this. And again, it is too much reverb and echo there. If you do not want that, you can, of course, lower it some more if you want. It's just over here. So dry and wet, and you can do lots of settings over here. If you're a pro on it, feel free to do it. So maybe I'll set it to 41%. Okay, and let's do another short sample. I'm not the one you needed. I love you. Goodbye. Okay, there you go. So anyway, that is the audio output if you will be doing your live streaming on Facebook as your streaming platform. And now let's do a sample recording and live streaming on this Android device. And for that, I will be using this cord. So again, as I showed you, this is USB Type-C to splitter headphone and microphone. First, let's connect this one end to here. The other end of this 3.5mm jack is connected to this TS Dual Mono at the back of this Focusrite. And I will be connecting this one wherever is the mic port for this one. So the microphone is this one here, so that's where I'll be connecting this. Okay, and now we're all set. Okay, there you go. I am now all set again. So first we will do a sample recording on this Android device or Samsung S20 Ultra. By the way, I just opened the built-in camera of this phone and I set it to video. By the way, what I'll be doing is same as earlier. Whatever is the audio output from this device here, I will be combining or syncing to this other video so that whatever is the audio output, you can hear that as well. Okay, so from here, let's use again audio number 1, and don't forget to arm it. So the dot over there, make sure to tap that and make sure it's on red, and auto set that or tap the auto at the middle so that you can hear it. There you go. I can hear now myself. And to my settings over here, they're the same. I did not touch it, same as earlier. I'm going to start recording now from here. Okay, there you go. So now whatever you're hearing, that is now the audio output from this phone over here, or recorded audio output from this Samsung or Android phone. And as I showed you earlier, if you want to add a manual effects, if you do not want to use the preset reverb over here, you can. So again, as I showed you earlier, you should see the INF over here too. So the first one is the reverb, and then the second one is the echo. So let's do the same thing. Let's tap arrow up. Sound check, testing 1, 2, sound check, and then select whatever is your preferred vocals. I'm setting it this time to -15 for the reverb. I'm setting my echo to 32, -32. Let's do a short sample, recording a song or making a song cover. I hope someday you can find some way to understand. I'm only doing this for you. I don't really wanna go deep in my heart. I know this is the kindest thing to do. Okay, so again, that should be your audio output if you are going to be selecting your reverb to -15 and then your echo to -30. Let's say you want more effects to your vocals. Okay, let's do that. Maybe I'll set the reverb to, okay, maybe -10, and then my echo to, okay, let's say -27. You'll need someone who will be the one that I could never be, and give you something better than the love you find with me. Okay, there you go. So anyway, that should be your audio output if you will be setting your reverb to -10 and your echo to -27. But again, it's up to you to select whatever is your preferred vocals or audio output. Feel free to maybe lower it, increase it, or lower it for either the reverb or the echo. And now let's use the next track, or the second track over here, so audio number 2. Because I will be using the audio number 2, first I will not forget to select the auto over there or tap it, and also arm it. So make sure to tap the dot over there so it moves to the second track. So that means I am using the second audio number there. But again, make sure it's set to number 1 because your mic here is connected to number 1. If you selected number 2, it will not be recorded. So no audio or voice will be recorded. So it's set to number 1, it's auto, and we have to make sure to arm it. There you go. So now I am using track number 2 or 2 audio. Okay, so from here I am going to select again concert. So I'll use this audio effects over here. Okay, sound check, testing 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it sounds like it's too much. So what I'll do is I'm going to again lower the dry wet over here. Okay, so maybe I will set to 50%. There you go, so that's only 50%. And let's do again a short sample. Okay, so I'm just going to continue the song over here. Could say that I'll be all you need, but that would be a lie. I know I'll only hurt you. I know I'll only make you cry. I'm not the one you're needing. I love you. Goodbye. Okay, there you go. So again, that should be your audio output. If you set your audio effects to concert hall and then you set, so you did not touch anything, I only set the dry wet to 50%. Okay, so this time I am going to, maybe I'm going to lower first my effects. There you go. So I just set my dry wet to 0, and that's why even if I selected concert hall, my vocals is flat. That is because I set the dry wet here to 0%. Okay, this time what I'll do is let's do a sample live streaming on Facebook on this Android or Samsung device. And as you can see, I am now all ready to go live streaming on Facebook. And the same as I showed you earlier, whatever is the audio output from here, I will be combining or syncing the audio from here to this other video that I'm showing right now, so that when you watch this video, you can hear the actual audio output from live streaming on this Facebook. Okay, I'm going to start, or I'm going to tap go live now from here. Okay, there you go. So I have now started my live streaming on Facebook, and from here, whatever you're hearing, that is now the audio output from this streaming on Facebook. So from here, on this DAW or Ableton Live DAW, I'm still using the track number 2, and I'm still selecting the concert. Okay, maybe I'm going to remove the concert, and I will select maybe, let's try main hall. Okay, there you go. Sound check, testing 1, 2. This is now the main hall reverb preset if you want to use that. And it sounds like the echo and reverberation is too much, so I'm going to lower it again. Okay, so this is 50% this time. And again, if you want to lower it some more, of course you can. So again, this is just the simplest way to show you how to decrease your reverberation or echo. Simply lower it from here, the dry wet over there. Okay, so maybe I'm going to set this one to maybe 34%. Okay, and let me show you again. Let's do a sample on here. Let's say you want to sing to your viewers or listeners on Facebook. Okay, maybe I'm just going to continue the song over here. Someone when you love someone is the hardest thing to do. When you love someone as much as I love you, oh, I don't wanna leave you, baby, it tears me up inside, but I'll never be the one you needed. I love you, goodbye. Okay, there you go. So anyway, that should be your audio output if you are going to be selecting the main hall and the dry and wet to about 34%. But again, if you want to select other ones from here, of course you can use them. Let me give you another short sample. Let's say you want to select church, and then the dry wet or the reverb, I set it to 30% instead of 100%. Okay, let me play this one now over here. You'll need someone who will be the one that I could never be, and give you something better than the love you find with me. And that is all I can share for today. I hope this video gives you an idea in regards to the setup, connecting your Android device or iOS device to your Focusrite with the use of course, a DAW, Ableton Live, using a laptop, plus the background music from a laptop. And also, I hope this gives you an idea in regards to the audio output using a preset reverb from the Ableton Live DAW and sample settings as well. Thanks again, guys, for watching. If you like this type of video, please give it a like. And if you want more of this type of videos, consider subscribing if you haven't done yet, and hit the notification bell so you are always updated for all the upcoming videos I will be posting. Keep safe, and until next time.